You keep asking Allah for a sign. Something clear, something obvious, something you can't ignore. You say, Ya Allah, just show me what to do. Give me clarity. Give me a sign. And you wait. You wait for something big, something undeniable, something that feels like certainty. But what if you've already been given the answer? What if the sign didn't come the way you expected? Not as a voice, not as a dream, not as something dramatic, but as something simple, something quiet, something easy to overlook. That door that didn't open, you tried, you pushed, you made dua for it, and still, it didn't happen. You called it disappointment. But what if that was direction? That person who walked away, you cared, you wanted it to work. You asked Allah to keep them in your life, and then they left. You called it loss. But what if that was protection? That delay, that thing you've been waiting for so long. You kept asking, you kept hoping, and nothing changed. You called it silence. But what if that was already the answer? Because not every answer comes in the form of yes, and not every sign looks like what you imagined. Allah doesn't always respond in ways that feel comfortable. Sometimes He responds by removing something. Sometimes He responds by closing a door. Sometimes He responds by making the path harder. And you think, why is this happening to me? But maybe that is the guidance. You're asking for clarity while ignoring the clarity you've already been shown. You're asking for a sign while standing in the middle of one. But the truth is, you don't just want a sign. You want a specific answer. You want it to match what you already hoped for. And when it doesn't, you keep asking, again and again and again. But what if the problem isn't that Allah isn't answering you? What if the problem is you don't like the answer? That's the part we don't talk about, because it's easier to say, I'm still waiting, than to admit, I already know, but I don't want to accept it. Think about it. Deep down, you already felt something wasn't right. You already saw the signs, the discomfort, the red flags, the way things didn't flow. But you ignored it, because you wanted it to work. So you made dua again, not for guidance, but for confirmation of what you already wanted. And when that confirmation didn't come, you called it silence. But it wasn't silence. It was direction. Allah says, He guides whom He wills, but guidance doesn't always feel good. Sometimes it feels like losing something. Sometimes it feels like being stopped. Sometimes it feels like confusion. But confusion is often what happens when you're being redirected. You thought you were stuck, but maybe you were being turned. You thought you were being denied, but maybe you were being protected. You thought nothing was happening, but maybe everything was being aligned. You don't always need a new sign. Sometimes you just need to look again at what already happened. That door that closed, look at it again. That person who left, look at it again. That delay, look at it again. Not with frustration, but with awareness. Because maybe Allah already showed you, you just didn't recognize it. And maybe today is not the day you ask for another sign. Maybe today is the day you say, I understand. Even if it hurts, even if it's not what you wanted, even if it doesn't make sense yet. Because guidance is not always about comfort. It's about direction. And sometimes, the clearest answer you'll ever get is the one you didn't want to hear. So next time you say, Ya Allah, show me a sign, pause and ask yourself, what have I already been shown? Because maybe you're not waiting anymore. Maybe you've already been answered.